And so the team was kind of leaning in the direction of, well, we're gonna have to part ways.
Hey, I'm Jeremy with Northwest, sitting back down with our recruiter, Heather. Heather, thank you so much for taking the time today. Where do you think companies get caught off guard the most when it comes to hiring?
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy to get in that pitfall of not looking ahead or not looking at that big picture of what's going on. That tends to lead for being more reactive than proactive in your approach and in problem solving and kind of addressing challenges that arise.
What do you think that reactive approach causes them to miss?
I mean, I think in those cases, it's the opportunity where you may be not seeing the full picture. And so you might miss opportunities that you can solve multiple problems or, kind of address bigger issues. Where I think when you have more of a narrowed approach or more of that reactive approach, you tend to miss some of the, outlying problems or other areas that, can kind of fester if you don't address them.
Can you give us an example of a time where you were proactive here and it wound up solving a bigger issue?
We had an opportunity in one of our offices where we had seasonal team members. We were also recruiting for other open positions in their office as well for full-time employees. The seasonal team member was getting kind of close to the end of their time here. We needed to make a decision of if we were bringing them on full-time. Did we have to, part ways and say thank you, but our time is over. And so really we had to make that decision. The team that she had been working on didn't have an opening. And so the team was kind of leaning in the direction of, well, we're gonna have to part ways. We're gonna have to say goodbye. And she was a really strong team member. She came in and really helped the team in a moment of them needing it. There was a fire and they needed help, and she was able to come in and really was a good culture fit for them. So rather than just kind of taking that, as it was, tried to take a step back a little bit and pause for a minute. Again, we were recruiting for another role in that office. It was different than her position.
Like really different?
Not too incredibly different,
Okay.
but enough that, it did warrant that conversation of, is this what you want? Is this the direction that you want to go in? And also there is a learning curve, from what she was doing into this other position. And so, really taking that moment to pause and to look at the picture of that office. I was able to have a few conversations with the hiring team and talk through some of those, it's a different position. How does that look? This team member, again, during her time here, really showed she was a strong culture fit. She learned from her mistakes. She was motivated. She wanted to learn. She didn't shy away from a challenge. And so those were all, really important skills that translate over into any position that she would, have here. So with that conversation, we were able to, talk back and forth with the team and decide we really think she'd be a strong fit for this other role. So by looking and taking a second to pause, we were able to not only bring on a full-time team member who was a really good culture fit, we were also able to fill another external requisition that we had a team member working on.
Thinking ahead is huge in business. Even when hiring, it can save both time and money. Heather just explained how it saved us, but stick around. Coming up, she's going to explain how a pause early on can be beneficial in the long run. So big question here. Is that team member still with us today?
She is, yeah. She has transitioned into her new role. She has gone through training and she's currently just crushing it. She's doing really well and has been really successful, kind of in that transition to her new role.
So if somebody's watching this video right now and looking to kind of fill a role and be more proactive about it, what advice would you give them?
I mean, even outside of recruiting, right? I think it's really easy to get caught up in that narrow focus and not paying attention to the big picture. So I would say, that's a big part of it is taking that moment, pause. It really could solve multiple problems or address kind of bigger picture when you take that moment to really understand the full picture of the situation rather than maybe just solving the one problem that is right in front of you.
So taking a second to breathe, just kind of assess what's going on, might actually get you a better solution than just going as fast as possible.
Totally. Sometimes, you're right, there's a time and a place to move fast and work with urgency. And I think you have to find that right balance of when does it make sense to pause for a second, and when does it make sense to like, we're full steam ahead and we're running with it. And maybe we'll evaluate on the back end. In this scenario, it really made sense for us to pause for just a second and look at that big picture.
Well, Heather, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe. If you have any additional questions for Heather or any of the experts here at Northwest, drop them in the comments below and we'll make our next video about it.